handed us the script. But we don't gotta read it no more. Yeah. Same old story, different page. Same old ink on a different stage. Got my own people on the corner, pushing me closer to the edge with rage. Willie Lynch probably laughing in his grave, seeing centuries later we still enslaved. House divided, envy contagious, the blueprint still working. Ain't that outrageous? Yeah, stack the odds, casino game. Bet against ourselves just to chase some fame. Another brother falls, everybody crying. Last week behind closed doors, they was quietly plotting, trying to dim his light cause his future too bright. Crabs in the bucket pulling down every flight. Generational wounds pass hand to hand, fighting each other instead of the man with the plan. Iron chains became gold links, different metal, same prison when nobody thinks. Freedom ain't jewelry, freedom is soul. Can't buy liberation if your spirit been sold. We just echoes in the barrel, spinning circles every day. History whispers softly, but we keep looking away. They handed us the script, now we acting every part. Time to break the cycle, time to heal the broken heart. This ain't the dream they marched for, this ain't the future they could see. This whole thing was a setup, it's time we set ourselves free. Same concrete soaked with tears, same pain carried through the years. But we tear each other down for applause, temporary likes while nobody heals. Call you a sellout when you lead a block. Soon as success make the whole world stop. But the real betrayal ain't broke the flight, it's poisoning your people out of envy and spite. You mad cause this watch gleam, mad cause our band gleam. Meanwhile the architects of the cage still counting money behind the scenes. They love the chaos, love the smoke, love watching family lose all hope. Another headline, another mother cry, another generation acting while they dying. The trap ain't poverty, the trap is division. The chains ain't visible, they're built from our decisions. We carry anger in our chests, years of trauma, years of stress, then pass it to our own bloodline. Instead of putting evil to rest, love became weakness, unity became strange, clout became currency. Everybody chained. Round and round we go, history keeps repeating, cause nobody let it go. But tonight we change the pole, we build every hope. This ain't the life they believe, the chains only live if we choose not to leave. Let the echoes disappear, let the barrel finally break. Leave the hate where it belongs, for our children's sake. No more jealousy, no more self-destruction, no more borrowed hatred. It's unity or it's nothing. We free, we free. Yeah. Ain't no more quiet now. Nah. Tell them run that back. I said, hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but they hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Ooh. We ain't your silence. We ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You can bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. I'm from the side where the pressure make diamonds, where mothers pray hard cause the system stay violent. Kids learn trauma before they learn signs. Politicians campaign while communities dying. Look, everybody tweeting, everybody streaming, everybody woke till the camera stop beaming. Truth don't trend when the money intervening. That's why the real ones exhausted and screaming. Big change, fake morals, podium capping. Whole lot of hashtags, ain't nobody action. Trying to sell the vision with celebrity distractions. Meanwhile, rights disappear through strategic reactions. Close schools, close polls, close cases. Still see hate written all on their faces. History repeating, just switching the phrases. Different decades, same games, new stages. And they wonder why the people don't trust. Every headline feel dangerous to us. Every promise turned dust, but we still rise up, 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 rise up. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but their hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Hey, we ain't your silence. We ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You could bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. Now everybody playing God with the algorithms, programming narratives and calling it the system. Who decides truth? Who decides wisdom? If the future artificial, who protect the children? Too much rage in the timeline scrolling. Young minds vulnerable, anger overloading. Everybody radical when the fear keep growing and the world stay tense while the missiles stay loaded overseas. War drums, contracts get signed. Oil, power, money always hide behind pride. Poor folks pay while the billionaires glide. And the news turn trauma into primetime vibes. Talk peace with a smirk while the stocks go up. Tell the working class, hold on, but enough is enough. People tired, people broke, people fed up. Still they call us angry every time we stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Listen, it's bigger than left or right, bigger than red or blue. People just wanna live, people just wanna breathe, people just wanna matter. But every generation gotta drag justice uphill, while somebody profits off the chaos. That's the part they don't say out loud. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. Truth hit harder when the beat line rolls. Can't sell fear to a soul that knows. Power to the people, let the whole world know. We ain't your silence, we ain't your shame. If the people wake up, everything changed. From the city to the globe, hear the whole crowd roar. You can't dim light when the spirit want war. Rise up, even when they try to divide us. Rise up, even when the pressure find us. Yeah, yeah. Still here, still loud, still fighting. Love.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden. We are back with another live, y'all. Guess what, y'all? We gotta do some history stuff, y'all. So thank y'all for coming in. I hope y'all rock with us through this whole live or whatnot. We got some things that we want to talk to y'all about when it comes to global Black history. So everybody who is joining, thank you so much for that. Even if you pop in, you pop out, you may have a busy day. Happy Tuesday to everybody. It is about 1:15 p.m. here Eastern Time in the Carolinas. And the weather is nice, it's warm. The sun is shining, so y'all know what that means. I'm in an extremely great mood today. But I try to always be in a good mood, but the sun really makes me be in a great mood, just not the heat. Anyway, y'all, I was checking the comments and I see we have a few people that have come in already. So thank y'all so much. We really appreciate it. So shout out to Amy. Hey Amy, how you doing? Y'all know Mama Word is here, always in the background, and helping me hold down the little peanut so I can get the lives done. And Amy says she got her grants today too. So that's beautiful. I hope y'all have a wonderful day together and absolutely stay cool because it's very hot. Like I don't know, there's some like type of heat wave all over, you know. So yeah, be very safe and make sure you stay cool. Hey Angie, thanks for coming in. Angie, how you doing? How you doing? I really appreciate that. And Daisy is here in the bushes but listening. And we know that some people lay in the cut and listen as well, while they may have, their feet kicked up, eating their popcorn, or they might be gardening. And that is appreciated as well. We can feel your presence. But y'all know I have my lovely co-host here with me, Imani, yet again. And so without further ado, Imani, how are you doing, girl? How you feeling? How's the weather? What is going on with you on this beautiful Tuesday?
Well, I've just woken up from, well, not long woken up from my afternoon nap because it's hot. Um, it's still very warm here. Everything's all right. We, England, by the way, are in the semi-finals of the World Cup, so we'll be playing tomorrow, and then yeah, which is quite a good feat for us. And we'll be playing Argentina tomorrow. So everybody's
Congratulations.
getting geared up for that.
Congratulations. That's really cool. And once you start telling me about that, I was like, okay, let me start looking into the World Cup because I never used to really watch it. But since you brought it to my attention, I see little clips and stuff like that. So I'll watch, a little bit. I ain't gonna watch all of it, but I'll be watching some clips and stuff. It's really cool. I like it. So that's dope.
Yeah, we've got France is playing Spain, which is a big one today. That's the first semi-final, and that's in about 1.5 hours, 1 hour 40 minutes, and then tomorrow it's England versus Argentina. Um, with England going in as the underdogs, really, because Argentina are meant to be the favourites. But yeah, so that's what's happening. Apart
All right.
from
Well, that's
that,
dope.
yeah. Apart from that, yeah, we'll probably go somewhere, oh, if there is anywhere to watch it, because what happens is a lot of the bars get really crowded um,
Mm,
where we are when there's a football game. So
I can
yeah,
imagine, girl.
we'll probably go and see that somewhere tomorrow, if anything.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you
so
into
it's pretty
sports, girl? You like
exciting.
sports?
Sorry.
I said you into sports. You like the sports.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I do watch football and I do like tennis. I didn't watch Wimbledon this year though, so I missed out on that. That was because there was a lot of heat last week. But I do like tennis, and and obviously when the athletics is on, I do like or track. I do like track and field. But
Yeah, track and
playing
field.
them, watching them, and playing them, two different stories.
Track is dope though. I love watching track. I ran for a little bit, not too long when I
Hmm.
was, in the
Yeah.
elementary, middle school days and stuff like that. But me and Carlos, we watched track together. He ran track. Yeah, I
Hey,
like track.
listen, I I've been to some of the school sports days with some of my friends who got younger children. The parents take this stuff serious. I mean, I've seen parents taking
Oh, yeah.
out their spikes for the parents' races and doing the stretching.
They race each other too, because a lot of the
Mm,
parents, with their kids when they're in sports and stuff, a lot of times they did those sports as well when they was younger. So the parents be want to compete while the kids is competing. Child, it'd be a whole funny mess. I'll be
But the parents take it very seriously, though. That's what I found
like,
funny. Seeing them doing all these stretching and the spikes coming out as though they were, competing for the Olympics, and it was the children's sports day.
right, child. They out there. They got their headbands on, their wristbands, their water bottles. They stretching. They're ready to go.
Yeah. So
That's fun.
yeah.
That's
So
fun.
apart from the heat that's still raging, I'm okay.
Mhm.
You got anything for housekeeping today?
Honestly, I haven't really had anything that I felt like I seen needed any housekeeping. I'll be getting around, girl, and I'll be taking trips. And so I did take a little trip last night. And I was kicking it or whatnot somewhere. And that's about it. I really haven't done anything outside of that. You know what I mean? So I don't really have too much housekeeping. Um, yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing. That is very bizarre for me to not have nothing. I don't really have
Um,
nothing that I.
Well, I just thought I'd just read something then. Really about it's about it's about how to be at peace with things you can't control. And I thought that would just be a good way to open if we got nothing, you know. Um, well,
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
love that. I love that.
Yeah. So it's for anyone who's ever felt that life has gone quiet. Maybe you've been praying for an opportunity that hasn't come. Maybe you've been working hard and wondering why nobody seems to notice. Maybe you've been carrying a disappointment, loss, uncertainty, or frustration and asking yourself, when's my breakthrough coming? If that's you, I want to encourage you today. Sometimes we mistake silence for abandonment, when in reality, silence is preparation. Some of the greatest things in life happen underground before anyone ever sees the fruit. A seed doesn't become a mighty oak overnight. A diamond is formed under pressure. Gold is refined by fire. Even a butterfly has to struggle before it can fly. Growth often happens in places where nobody is applauding, nobody is watching, and nobody even knows your name. Too often, we compare our journey to somebody else's highest reel. We scroll through social media and think everybody else is winning while we're standing still. But remember this: comparison is the thief of joy. You don't know what someone else has had to endure to reach where they are, and they don't know what God, life, or destiny is preparing you for. The message today is simple. Don't confuse delay with denial. Sometimes a closed door isn't rejection, it's protection. Sometimes an unanswered prayer is actually redirection. Sometimes the relationship that ended, the job you didn't get, the opportunity that fell apart, or the friendship that faded was making room for something far greater than you could see at the time. We've all experienced seasons when nothing seems to make sense. But when you look back over your own life, haven't there been moments when something you desperately wanted didn't happen, and later you realized it was it was actually one of the best things that ever happened? That's the beauty of perspective. Today is also a reminder to protect your energy. We live in a world full of noise, constant opinions, endless arguments, negativity, outrage, and people trying to pull you into battles that don't belong to you. Not every invitation deserves your attendance. Not every accusation deserves your response. And not every misunderstanding deserves an explanation. Sometimes your greatest act of strength is choosing peace over proving a point. Remember, you cannot control how other people behave, but you can control how you respond. You can't stop every storm, but you can decide whether you will allow the storm to live inside you. So, as we begin today's show, I want to leave you with this thought. Your breakthrough may already be on its way. The silence may not be empty, it may be preparing you. The waiting may not be punishment, it may be positioning you. The ending may not be the end of your story, it simply may be the beginning of your next chapter. So don't give up, don't lose heart, keep planting seeds, keep walking in purpose, keep protecting your peace, keep believing that what's meant for you will arrive at exactly the right time. And that's it for me.
That was beautiful, Imani. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that here with us. And the words that you said are very touching, because that's what we really are trying to get to the core of. And with a lot of the content that we do here, whether it's history, politics, or anything else, we try to make sure that we see that at the core and the foundation of that there is, a level of understanding, unity, and clarity when it comes to certain things. So I really appreciate you saying that. But yeah, y'all. So basically, on this live, we are going to be looking at Black history through a global lens, from the continents to the diaspora. But as we do, we remember that every culture, every lineage, and every person watching does have a history of their own. The goal isn't to separate us, it's to learn each other's stories so we can care and respect one another's struggles and all. So we are going to be getting into, we'll be doing some US Black history, we'll be doing the UK Black history, and we'll also be doing the diaspora as well. And so, we have a few things that we want to share with y'all as far as reading. We'll be doing a lot of reading today, but we also have some videos as well. And we'll chit chat with you guys because you just never know what type of background anyone comes from. And, maybe you're familiar with some of these histories, maybe you're not. But hopefully it's something that will be, positive and maybe you enjoy. So yeah, in this episode, we will be honoring the profound movements, iconic milestones, and unforgettable people who reshaped history between June 29th and July 12th historically. And we are catching up, y'all, with 2 weeks of the history because we are behind 1 week. So that's why that stretch is there. But from the soulful stage of the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival and the historic signing of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, to the resilience of the Windrush generation in Britain and the triumphant independence movements across the Caribbean, we will discover how Black history is literally, truly world history. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, y'all. And we go ahead and get into a few things. So, first and foremost, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all know I'm trying to get this cold to go away. Let's talk about the first thing in this week of Black American global history. So, number one on the docket for the US, so I'll be covering a bit of that here, y'all. The Harlem Cultural Festival. It was June 29th of 1969. We will kick things off from that date, when one of the most magnificent cultural celebrations in American history took place in Harlem, New York. It was known as the Harlem Cultural Festival, often beautifully called Black Woodstock. This incredible lineup over the course of several weeks is a festival that brought together more than 300,000 people at Mount Morris Park. This wasn't just a concert, it was a sanctuary in a time when our communities were mourning the losses of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and demanding basic survival and justice. This gathering celebrated Black music, Black spirituality, and community power. We seen people like Stevie Wonder drum like a man possessed, Nina Simone pour out pure revolution, and Malaya Jackson hand the torch to Mavis Staples. For decades, this footage sat in a basement overlooked by mainstream media, while Woodstock was immortalized. But truth has a way of rising, doesn't it? So, thanks to Oscar winning documentary Summer of Soul, this historic moment is finally Black in a global spotlight. Culture is our resistance. And guess what, y'all? For this topic here, we actually do have a video to share. So, y'all, give me a few minutes to get this popped up real quick. We're going to talk about Summer of Soul because it meant a lot. And shout out to, we also have here, and you will see Questlove has decided that he's going to revamp and wants to make sure that history is not forgotten when it comes to Summer of Soul. So he has created a modern day documentary and also another celebration of his own when it comes to Summer Soul. So we're going to listen to him talk a bit about that, his reasoning behind it, and how epic and powerful and necessary it was during that time when a lot of Black communities and Black people were hurting, mourning, and fighting for justice and civil rights. So let's go ahead and get into this video, y'all. Give me just a few minutes to get it popped up. This tag on StreamYard is so slow. Okay, here we go. One sec. And per usual, y'all, we'll watch this together, and we will meet y'all in the chat. So let me go ahead and take this off. Okay, y'all. We'll meet y'all in the chat. We'll be right back.
The Harlem Cultural Festival felt like lightning in a bottle.
The Harlem Cultural Festival of 1969.
Welcome to the Harlem Cultural Festival.
Nobody ever heard of the Harlem Cultural Festival. Nobody would believe that happened.
50,000 beautiful people here in Mount Morris Park.
My producers, Robert Fidel, Joseph Patel, and David Dennerstein, they showed me that footage. This was real.
A day after the death of Dr. Martin Luther King.
After the assassination of Martin Luther King, many in inner city, from Detroit to Philadelphia to Atlanta, places were just erupting in anger, righteous anger.
People for that year had been dealing with constant loss.
There's so many people who need help.
The loss of the Kennedys, the loss of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all these civil rights leaders.
Not wanting to repeat what happened the summer of '68, the city allowed for this festival to happen.
We needed something to really reach out and touch us. We needed that music.
Growing up in a musical family, my dad would often play the Apollo Theater in Harlem during that period.
Amir is someone who knows a lot about music, and it's very authentic.
I'm the guy that watches every music documentary, and I'm always like, they got that wrong. Like, that's the wrong year.
He can go down a really nerdy path, right? Like, this bass player used to play with that guitarist, and they used to have a band before this, and they did this one song that was a cover of another song.
Even people with the highest musical intelligence had no idea that this took place.
Like, wait a minute, Stevie Wonder and the Staple Singers and Sly and the Family Stone, that happened in '69, and no one ever heard of this? I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my destiny to tell this story. There were over 47 reels of footage. Miraculously, it sat in Hal Tolson's basement for 50 years. We had to restore it. So that took 5 months alone for them to just go frame by frame by frame, dusting it, making sure that it didn't snap or anything. When we got that footage, it was damn near perfect.
The great irony of this is that because no one wanted to do anything with this footage at the time and through the years, the footage was actually in remarkably good shape.
Oh, happy
For 4 to 5 months, I lived with the footage inside my household. I constantly kept that concert on a loop. And if something intrigued me, I would take notes. During those 5 months, I would come across some mind-blowing footage. My jaw would drop.
While there were 5 camera angles at the event itself, they had done their own live camera mix. They did not have the isolated camera footage.
I knew that we should actually approach the editing like you do your DJ gigs. We should be just as rhythmic.
This film is his DJ set.
One of many things that Amir brings to the project as a director, as a storyteller, is his perspective as a musician.
Oftentimes when I curate things, there's this kind of a rhythmic feng shui thing that I don't know how to describe yet.
My job was to basically be the turntables.
You find ways to blend songs into each other.
I think he understands pacing incredibly well.
He was ready to be a director and ready to tell this story in particular.
He really had strong ideas about certain tracks. He wanted to start with the Stevie Wonder drum solo.
I knew that I wanted the first 5 minutes of the film to just gobsmack the person watching. And when I saw Stevie Wonder take a drum solo, I was like, yo, this is something that even Stevie Wonder experts really haven't seen before. I just knew, like, that was my first scene.
Understanding that that was going to be showing audiences something that they had never seen before, I just realized the genius of it.
It's just the perfect thumbprint for Amir on this film.
Not only was the source material phenomenal to start with, but the sound quality of the source material was phenomenal.
Because it was a primarily Black festival for a primarily Black audience in the Black epicenter of the country, there wasn't a lot of newspaper clippings or anything else that we found announcing the festival. I think the obvious answer is racism, right? Like, I think, let's not beat around the bush.
Up to that point, Black identity was in question. Everyone dressed the same. They wore tuxedos. They did choreographed moves. Oh, yeah! You had to filter and make yourself palatable so that you wouldn't scare white people, people watching in Texas, people watching in Ohio. And that's where we were as a culture. And it reflected in the music and it reflected in the message as well. So many luminaries came together, from B.B. King, Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Gladys Knight and the Pips!
Now, when I stepped on stage, I was totally taken aback because I didn't expect a crowd like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chambers Brothers.
There was Max Roach and Abby Lincoln, Latin music, African music, Sly and the Family Stone, Hugh Masekela.
Fifth Dimension, their set is incredible. It's just so catchy and colorful.
So many just amazing performers.
You know, occasionally my jaw would drop, especially when watching that Mahalia Mavis moment. I just stood in front of my television like, yo, this is crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nina Simone.
For her, there was a burning desire to stand up for Black people and really give a message on why they are important, why they are beautiful.
You could feel the artist drawing energy from the audience. You know, I think it was clear that the artist knew that something magical was happening.
It's just something to see.
Black America has lost faith in this country.
1969 was such a transformative period.
Somebody better wake up.
Day by day, month by month, we started noticing the parallels of 1969 and 50 years later. The same things that they were talking about back then were happening to us right now.
We want a new life.
A Black consciousness revolution.
It reflects and brings to the forefront a moment in time that might give us some insight into where we are today culturally.
The one takeaway that I hear from people who had the opportunity to see the film at a festival prior to its opening is about how topical the film actually is. There's an easy takeaway to see all of the parallels about social injustice, about, love of community. Unfortunately, how things really have not evolved much in over 50 years.
We need it now. There are important themes to this movie and important things that it says about where we are as a society.
We have a responsibility to show the people the social and political circumstances with poverty, how the government treats its citizens, how the police treat its citizens, the idea of protesting and letting your voice be heard.
The revolution is not going to stop.
I don't want people to get the feeling that this is a history lesson in any way. We all put a lot of work and energy into making sure that this is a joyful film.
The music in the film and the performances are so exuberant. It makes you proud to be part of a world where this could happen.
We'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge people that attended the festival.
Because of the historical way that community has been treated, you can't just get to people through social media. You have to meet them on the ground. That was really difficult. It's not as easy as it seems, because 50 years ago is a very long time.
In the case of Musa Jackson, he told us that this was his very first memory. The things that he described in detail were sort of like, oh, okay, he really remembers this.
Their outfits were orange, but it was orange, like, you know, remember the creamsicles?
Like at the very end, then we showed him the footage. He wasn't expecting that, and then that's when the tears just came rolling. That's when I realized, like, oh, this is that type of film. Like, this isn't just a cool concert. Like, you're giving people back their memories.
I'm not crazy. Thank you.
This incredible thing did happen, and it's really important to preserve that memory, not only for the people who went, but also for the rest of culture.
At the end of the day, I think a lot of the no's just came to be because us discovering, Black is beautiful. Instead of always trying to pander and please and readjust our lives to make certain people feel safe, let's please ourselves first.
Wanna take you higher. Wanna take you higher.
All right, y'all. So I just want to go ahead and show y'all a little bit of that clip right there, or that interview that Questlove did, as far as the that excellent Summer of Soul. And that was all the way back from, y'all, the 1969. And it was in Harlem. And so one of the things, y'all, that's on, our list when we're doing our history within these 2 weeks here. That was a huge turnout. Okay. And it was necessary. And as you can see, like, it was music, it was love, it was connectivity amongst the people when they really, really were going through a hard time because of the things that were happening within the Black community, right? The injustices, as you can see, the unalivings or the assassinations, of some really strong activists within the Black community. All of that was happening at the same time. And so, this festival happened the exact same summer as Woodstock, which was just 100 miles away. A television pioneer named Hal Tolshin filmed about 40 hours of professional, beautiful footage, some of which we just seen, of the Harlem Festival. But when he tried to sell the footage to networks and distributors, nobody wanted it. They even tried pitching it as Black Woodstock, but mainstream media showed total indifference. Because of the institutional bias and the lack of care for Black culture, the tapes sat in a basement completely forgotten for about 50 years. Then came Questlove and his team, who took those tapes, beautifully restored the footage, and gave this massive piece of history back to the world. So why is this project so important? This festival took place right after, like we said, some of the most painful moments of the civil rights movement, including the unaliving of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and Robert Kennedy. Harlem was full of grief, pain, and tension, and the festival organizers and local leaders used this event to give the community a safe space to breathe, celebrate, and heal through the power of song. It was an act of historical reclamation. As critics noted, Questlove didn't just make a movie, he righted a historical injustice. It proved that when marginalized stories aren't reported or valued by mainstream media, huge pieces of human history do get erased. By bringing it to light, he restored pride to the people who were there and educated a whole new generation. It swept the awards. Let's be very clear. The film resonated so deeply because of its raw honesty. It went on to win the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance, the BAFTA, and the Academy Award Oscar for Best Documentary Feature. So, y'all see, there is some really great history when it comes to things that are happening in the Black community and have happened in the Black community. And we just want those things to be respected. We just want to remind people that we've always been fighting, we'll continue to fight, but we have fun too, you know? So anyway, y'all, before we move on to the next topic, did you have any thoughts that you wanted to add to this, Imani?
No, it's just made me want to go and see that documentary, Summer of Soul. I think it sounds really great. And the reason why I like doing this historical stuff with you, because it's not just about what people think are Black historical studies, which is all the pain and suffering. It's about celebrating things like this, this festival. And look at the artists that were there. Sly and the Family Stone, Gladys Knight and the Pips, my favorite, Nina
Exactly.
Simone, Mahalia Jackson, BB King, Stevie Wonder. Everybody seems to focus, a lot of focus is put on the negative, but this is one of the things that people don't talk about and they don't celebrate. So I think people should go and watch this Summer of Soul documentary, because it really looks good, actually, from given the clip that you've just shown.
Absolutely, y'all. So we can watch that, and shout out to Questlove for wanting to reignite, a powerful moment within history that came from a lot of sadness and a lot of disdain, but was turned into something of beauty and something of celebration, right? So we can fall down, but we get up. And I think that's the message of it all. But we're going to get into this next topic in just a minute, y'all. Give me just 2 seconds. Hold on. All right, y'all, I'm back. So let's get into the second one. So, number 2 is the Civil Rights Act. And I think most people historically know about this, but this happened at July 2nd, 1964, a date where the law of the land finally had to reckon with the moral arc of the universe. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the landmark Civil Rights Act into law. Now, this legislation didn't just happen because politicians had a change of heart. This law was paid for. It was bought and paid for by decades of bloody struggles, relentless activism, strategic lawsuits, and the ultimate sacrifices made by everyday citizens. The Civil Rights Act legally banned discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It dismantled legal segregation in restaurants, hotels, and public facilities, and created the EEOC, which is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, to fight workplace biases. While it didn't instantly erase racism from people's hearts, it stripped the legal armor away from segregation, and it reminds us that real change only happens when ordinary people organize and demand it. Now, we do have a video that we're going to show about the civil rights movement. It's really quick. Let me go ahead and get that popped up on the screen for y'all real quick. While I'm doing that, Imani, do you have a few things you want to say while I get everything set up?
No, just to say, you missed the NAACP versus Alabama Supreme Court decision, which happened during the civil rights movement. And this was when organizations like the NAACP played a critical role in challenging segregation and fighting for equal rights. However, many civil rights organizations faced intimidation and attempts to weaken their efforts. And in Alabama, state officials demanded that the NAACP reveal the names of their members. And the organization argued that releasing those names could expose members to harassment, threats, and retaliation. The case went to the United States Supreme Court, and on June the 30th, 1958, the court ruled in favor of the NAACP. So there was a win, protecting the organization to keep its membership information private. And this decision protected something really fundamental, the freedom of people to organize together for social change. And why does it matter? Well, many movements throughout history have depended on the ability of people to organize without fear of punishment or intimidation. And this case became really important in the protection of freedom of association. Just thought I'd get that one in.
All right, thank you, girl. Yeah, exactly. So, we ping pong back and forth or whatnot, but it's just this StreamYard is acting very weird and slow today. So thank you for that. So let's go ahead and just get into this real quick clip. It's only 3 minutes, y'all, but this is just a little bit here of the background of the civil rights acts and movement. And thank you so much for adding to that, Imani. Let's get into it.
Congress passes the most sweeping civil rights bill ever to be written into the law, and thus reaffirms the conception of equality for all men that began with Lincoln and the Civil War 100 years ago. The Negro won his freedom then. He wins his dignity now. 5 hours after the House passes the measure, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is signed at the White House by President Johnson. Before an audience of legislators and civil rights leaders who had labored long and hard for passage of the bill, President Johnson calls for all Americans to back what he calls a turning point in history.
We must not approach the observance and enforcement of this law a vengeful spirit. Its purpose is not to punish. Its purpose is not to divide, but to end divisions. Divisions which have lasted all too long. Its purpose is national, not regional. This Civil Rights Act is a challenge to all of us to go to work in our communities and our states, in our homes and in our hearts, to eliminate the last vestiges of injustice in our beloved country. So, tonight I urge every public official, every religious leader, every business and professional man, every working man, every housewife, I urge every American to join in this effort to bring justice and hope to all our people and to bring peace to our land.
There's warm applause from members of both parties as the president sets to work. It is work. He uses nearly 100 pens to affix his signature and date. Souvenirs go to Republican leader Everett Dirksen and Democratic whip Hubert Humphrey. The president seems to have mastered the art of just touching each pen to the paper. Integration leader Martin Luther King receives his pen, a gift he said he would cherish. The Department of Justice will enforce the law if necessary, and G-Man Chief J. Edgar Hoover is present. Another group of pens is reserved for the Kennedys, and the Attorney General is entrusted with a half dozen. Now, in this summer of 1964, the Civil Rights Bill is the law of the land. In the words of the president, it restricts no one's freedom so long as he respects the rights of others.
All right, y'all. So I just wanted to show y'all that little clip right there. And Emmy said, I was 3 in 1969. I'm like, child, I was not even here. I don't even know if I was thought about. And Angie says, I was 13 in 1969. And everyone say, oh, one in the chat, no. But yeah, you know, history is a thing. Like, we have fought through so much. We have survived through so much. And we are still here. And that's the beautiful part of it. And unfortunately, there's more fighting that we have to do and more things to come. But moving right along, we'll get into number 3, and we'll talk about Frederick Douglass and the challenges of America. And this happened around July 5th of 1852. So let's start further back, right? The greater orator and formerly enslaved abolitionist Frederick Douglass delivered what is arguably the most powerful speech in American history. What to the slave is the 4th of July? Imagine the raw courage it took to stand before Rochester's Ladies Anti-Slavery Society and declare that to a slave, America's celebration of independence wasn't a hollow mockery. Douglass famously said, what to the American slave is your 4th of July? And he says, I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. He forced a young nation to look into the mirror and confront the terrifying hypocrisy of celebrating liberty while holding millions of human beings in chains. Douglass showed us that true love for your country requires the fierce courage to challenge its greatest systemic sins. Imani, do you have anything that you would like to add to this before we move on to the next topic?
No, you're good. This is great.
Okay. Let's keep going and rolling right along, y'all. And for everything, you know, y'all, I didn't do a video for everything because I don't want to hold us up too long. I do like having the clips and the videos and stuff, but I just don't want to hold y'all up for too long. So now, and we still have to get into global and diaspora, right? So now we're going into number 4, the NAACP versus Alabama. This happened June 30th of 1958. So on June 30th, 1958, a quiet but monumental battle for our safety and right to organize was won in the highest court of the land, the NAACP versus Alabama. During the height of the civil rights push, the state of Alabama tried a dirty legal tactic. They demanded that the NAACP hand over its entire membership list. Civil rights leaders knew exactly what that meant. Revealing those names would expose everyday Black folks to immediate white supremacist violence, job loss, threats, and harassment. The NAACP stood its ground, and the Supreme Court ruled unanimously in their favor, establishing a massive legal precedent protecting the freedom of association. It proved that our right to gather and organize peacefully in the shadows is vital to bringing justice into the light. Imani?
Sorry. No, I think I've just got my mic open. We must have two different orders because that was the thing I thought you'd missed before. But hey.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, all right. But yeah, so let's keep going, y'all. We pushing right along. So number 5, remembering Louis Armstrong, July 6, 1971. The world lost a giant. We pause to remember the passing of Satchmo himself, the legendary Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong wasn't just a man playing a horn. He was an architectural force of global culture. Coming up out of New Orleans, his brilliant trumpet play and unmistakably raspful vocals literally built the foundational phrasing of jazz music. Y'all know I like me some jazz music. He became one of the world's very first Black international superstars, breaking down strict entertainment barriers across the globe, from jazz and blues to pop and soul. Every time an artist improvises or finds a groove today, they are walking through a door that Louis Armstrong blew wide open. Now, y'all know I like me some jazz music, okay? And you may hear some of that correlated in some of the music that I make. I grew up on it, on the records and everything. But moving along from that, y'all, if you didn't have anything you might want to add, Imani, you let me know. Like if you
No,
want
I
to touch
just
on any of the topics, I know we gotta move pretty quickly.
No, I just think that, yeah, Louis Armstrong, we can't forget him. He's one of the most influential jazz musicians in history. And, when you listen to that raspy voice when he sang What a Wonderful World and Hello, Dolly,
Mm-hmm.
they became timeless classics. And his
Mm-hmm.
charisma, innovation, continues to inspire musicians and audiences around the world. He's a global star, a global phenomenon.
I agree. And I love that song. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It could be a wonderful world. It's going to be a wonderful world. But, we all got to put in the work to make it be so. But anyway, moving along. Number 6, we have Ronald H. Brown making history July 11th, 1989. So on July 11th, 1989, a glass ceiling in American political strategy shattered when Ronald H. Brown became the first African American elected chairman of the Democratic National Committee. Ron Brown proved that Black brilliance belonged at the highest level of political strategy, not just on the ballot. He revolutionized political fundraising and organizing, later serving brilliantly as the United States Secretary of Commerce. His legacy teaches us a vital lesson. Representation matters immensely, and because our communities must have a seat at the table where the laws are written and the resources are distributed. And I do have a clip of that video that I will show to y'all. So give me just a second and I will be right back. Um, Thank y'all for rocking with me. It's hard to get these little clips and stuff up quickly, and StreamYard is running slow. So bear with me, y'all. I'll be right there.
wonder, hidden in the margins, written in the scars. Built the whole nation, still they lock the doors. Now I'm kicking hinges, breaking every chain. Knowledge is my weapon, truth inside my veins. Buffalo spirit, soldier mentality. Fought for every freedom, still denied humanity. That's fact. Medicine, politics, sports, revolution. Every generation built another institution. Typewriters turned into microphones. Now we write the future with a kingdom of our own. Who built it? We did. Who changed it? We did. Who survived it? We did. Now they wanna rewrite. We live it. We live history. History can't erase our victory. Never kings, queens, royal pedigree. Crown. Every generation changing history. Lift your fist, raise your voice. Freedom ain't an accident, it's a choice. The history. Title IX, open gates. Black girls flying, changing fate. Flojo speed like lightning strikes. Venus arena, changing every mic. Breaking every record, every stereotype. Pressure make diamonds, now we shining bright. Dr. Bristow, white coats, black excellence. Leadership, pure intelligence. Randolph March didn't beg, demand it. Power never given it, command it. Stonewall nights, fire in the streets. Marcia stood tall, wasn't face to face. Stand up. Different identities, one common cause. Justice don't discriminate, neither do these bars. They fear an educated woman, fear an organized people. Feel united movement, come on, because truth always outlives evil. Africa calling, Caribbean flames. Freedom ain't geography, it's breaking chains. Mozambique rising, colonizers falling. Every freedom fighter still here, I'm calling. Madagascar, South Africa, to Mandela dream. Now the whole world knew. Barefoot runner, Olympic gold. Couldn't chain greatness, couldn't buy that soul. You say fast, rich, every black champion worth more than gold. WW1 World War, still ignore. I came back home, starting every war against oppression, against fear, against lies. Now our voices touch the skies. Build up, they can censor books, but not the people. Hide our names, but not the sequel. Every child, every elder, every mother, every teacher, every freedom preacher, we are the reset. History, not your version. History, tell them, build civilizations, change the world, still standing, still demanding, still expanding. Black excellence, black resistance, black persistence. Every single dingle, 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 dingle. History ain't behind us, it's inside us, inside us. If they erase one page, we'll write 10 more. If they close one door, we'll build 10 more. Hey, this ain't just remembrance, this is recruitment for the next generation. Let's go! Wait, the history. And keep this free. We are the history. Freedom forever. Black is village. Freedom forever. Black excellence. We the history.
All right, y'all. So thanks for rocking with me with that quick little song break. I'm so sorry, with these technical difficulties and stuff, sometimes I'll be trying to get the stuff up fast. So y'all not just sitting there in silence or whatnot. So I figure I'll play a song while I get everything set up. But I got the video up here, y'all. Let's watch it together. We have like 1 to 2 more topics left within the United States highlights for this global Black history over the past 2 weeks. And then I'll be passing it over to my lovely co-host, Imani, and she'll be getting into some of the global and diaspora Black history events within these past 2 weeks historically. So let's play this little video. It's not that long, and we will meet y'all in the chat.
Facts. Ron Brown, the first African American to serve as U.S. Secretary of Commerce, was a man of many accomplishments. However, his life was also marred by scandal, controversy, and mysterious circumstances. From his rise in Washington, D.C., to his untimely death, Brown's story is filled with shocking and scandalous moments that continue to provoke intrigue. Fact number 1. A humble beginning with a hint of ambition. Ronald Harmon Brown was born on August 1, 1941, in Washington, D.C., into a middle-class African-American family with strong ties to the Harlem community. His father, William H. Brown, managed the iconic Teresa Hotel in Harlem, a hub for African-American culture and politics that hosted luminaries like Malcolm X, Duke Ellington, and Josephine Baker. This culturally rich environment deeply influenced Brown's ambitions and exposed him to the importance of networking and leadership from an early age. After completing his high school education, Brown attended Middlebury College in Vermont, where he faced the challenge of being the only African-American student in his class, a testament to his resilience and determination. Following his college graduation in 1962, Brown enlisted in the United States Army, where he served as an officer in Germany during the Cold War, gaining invaluable leadership experience. His military service not only honed his leadership skills but also broadened his perspective on global affairs. In 1962, he married Alma Arrington, with whom he had 2 children, Michael and Tracy. However, as Brown's political career took off, the demands of public life often strained his family relationships, and rumors of extramarital affairs would later circulate in Washington's gossip circles. Number 2. The lobbyist with controversial connections. Before entering government service, Ron Brown earned a reputation as a formidable lobbyist. While working for Patton Boggs, a top Washington law firm, Brown represented various high-profile clients, including international governments. His most controversial work involved Haiti, where he was linked to the Duvalier regime, infamous for its human rights abuses. Critics accused Brown of leveraging his political influence to secure favorable U.S. policies for corrupt regimes, raising ethical questions about his priorities. Despite never being formally charged, these associations cast a long shadow over his career, with allegations that he was more interested in financial gain than in upholding democratic values. These controversies continued to follow him, particularly as he rose to more prominent positions in the U.S. government. Number 3. The rise to power in the Democratic Party. Brown's rise in the Democratic Party was nothing short of meteoric, culminating in his election as the first African-American chairman of the Democratic National Committee, DNC, from 1989 to 1993. His strategic acumen was pivotal in Bill Clinton's successful 1992 presidential campaign, where he utilized his deep connections and fundraising prowess to secure vital support. However, Brown's leadership was marred by accusations that he traded political favors for financial backing, particularly from wealthy donors. Although these allegations were never substantiated, they fueled skepticism about his methods and the integrity of the DNC under his leadership. Critics questioned whether Brown's rapid ascent was due to his talents or his willingness to engage in ethically questionable practices. Number 4. The Commerce Secretary with a cloud of scandal. In 1993, President Bill Clinton appointed Ron Brown as the Secretary of Commerce, marking another historic achievement as the first African American to hold this position. Brown's tenure was marked by efforts to expand U.S. trade and promote American businesses abroad, often focusing on emerging markets in Asia. However, his time in office was plagued by allegations of corruption, particularly regarding illegal contributions from Asian businesses in exchange for favorable treatment. Brown staunchly denied these charges, but the relentless investigations and media scrutiny took a toll on his public image. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the cloud of scandal that hung over him tainted his legacy, and many believe it may have contributed to his untimely death. Number 5. The mysterious death and conspiracy theories. On April 3, 1996, Ron Brown's life came to a tragic and mysterious end when the U.S. Air Force plane he was traveling in crashed near Dubrovnik, Croatia, killing all 35 passengers. The official investigation cited pilot error as the cause, but the circumstances of the crash quickly fueled conspiracy theories. Some speculated that Brown was assassinated to prevent him from revealing sensitive information about the Clinton administration, particularly regarding illegal fundraising activities. Reports of a circular wound on Brown's skull, initially speculated to be a bullet wound, only added to the suspicions, though it was later dismissed as a post-mortem injury. The decision not to conduct a full autopsy and the unexplained delay in the crash investigation led many to believe that crucial details were being covered up, turning Brown's death into one of the most enduring mysteries of the 1990s. Number 6. The scandal of financial mismanagement. In the years leading up to his death, Ron Brown faced multiple investigations into his financial dealings, particularly concerning his management of the Department of Commerce. Allegations surfaced that Brown had funneled government contracts to companies with ties to his political allies, raising concerns about cronyism and financial mismanagement. One of the most significant scandals involved accusations that Brown had improperly directed funds to businesses that had contributed to the Democratic Party. Although a formal investigation was death, the unresolved nature of these accusations left many wondering if the full extent of Brown's activities was ever uncovered, adding another layer of intrigue to his already controversial career. Number 7. Allegations of bribery and Vietnamese connections. In 1993, Ron Brown was implicated in a bribery scandal involving a $700,000 payment from Vietnamese businessman Nguyen Van Hao. The payment was allegedly made in exchange for Brown's assistance in lifting the U.S. embargo against Vietnam, a move that would have opened the country to American businesses. Although the bribe was never proven in court, the allegations were part of a broader investigation into Brown's financial activities. Critics argued that Brown's connections with controversial international figures reflected a pattern of behavior where personal gain was prioritized over ethical considerations. The lack of resolution to these accusations left a permanent stain on Brown's legacy, with many questioning whether justice was fully served. Number 8. The controversial relationship with Chinese business interests. Ron Brown's tenure as Secretary of Commerce was further complicated by allegations of impropriety involving Chinese business interests. Critics accused Brown of using his position to facilitate favorable trade agreements for Chinese companies in return for political contributions, a charge that was part of the larger Chinagate scandal. This controversy centered around concerns that China was attempting to influence U.S. politics through financial contributions to key figures in the Clinton administration. Although Brown denied any involvement, the seriousness of the accusations prompted investigations by both Congress and the Justice Department. While no charges were ever brought against him, the scandal added to the perception of Brown as a figure willing to blur ethical lines for political and financial gain. Number 9. The accusations of cronyism. Ron Brown was frequently criticized for his leadership style, particularly during his time as Secretary of Commerce. He was accused of practicing cronyism by appointing friends and political allies to key positions within the department, often at the expense of more qualified candidates. These appointments were seen by critics as a way for Brown to consolidate power and ensure loyalty among his subordinates, leading to concerns about the integrity of the department. While the accusations were never formally proven, they contributed to the narrative of Brown as a political operator who valued personal loyalty over competence and fairness, further complicating his legacy. Number 10. The mysterious Croatian connection and Enron. One of the most perplexing aspects of Ron Brown's final days involved his trip to Croatia, where he was reportedly brokering a deal between the Croatian government and Enron, a major American energy company. The trip was part of an effort by the Clinton administration to secure funds for the 1996 re-election campaign, with Brown playing a central role in the negotiations. However, Brown's sudden death in a plane crash en route to Dubrovnik raised numerous questions, particularly when it was revealed that Enron executives had traveled separately and were unharmed. Some speculated that the navigation system had been tampered with, and that Brown's death was orchestrated to prevent the completion of a deal that could have had far-reaching implications. The lack of clear answers has made this one of the most enduring mysteries associated with Brown's life and career.
All right, y'all. So I just wanted to show y'all that video so we can get a little bit more, of an understanding of who these people are their experiences, things that they've been through. And, just like Daisy was saying, yeah, definitely sounds like another. But when we say history just tends to repeat itself, it's literally the truth. Like we've seen stories now as of recent that sound very similar, don't they? But anyway, y'all, let's get back into it. Give me just a sec. We're gonna move right along because we have to get into more the global and the diaspora history. So, number 7, we have the Newark Rebellion. On July 12, 1967, we will be taking a look at the ignition of the Newark Rebellion in New Jersey. Shout out to my hometown. Anyway, y'all, history books often lazily label these events as mere riots, but we know better. Newark exploded after years of systemic pain, severe racial inequality, brutal housing conditions, lack of economic opportunities, and intense police community tensions. When a black cab driver named John Smith was brutally beaten by police, the community's frustration boiled over into 4 days of unrest. It was a tragedy that cost 26 lives, but it forced America to look at the explosive consequences of systemic neglect. To truly learn history, we must look past the smoke and understand the root that causes the fire. Now, before I hand it over to Imani, y'all, we have to shine our light on another brother whose words defined an entire generation. So this is our Black Excellence Spotlight of the Live. We will be speaking about Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. Born on June 29th, 1941, Stokely Carmichael became a towering revolutionary force of the civil rights and Pan-African movement. Rising as the charismatic leader of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, Stokely walked the front lines of nonviolent protests, but he realized that integration without power was meaningless. He boldly popularized the rally cry, Black Power. He shifted the global conversation towards political self-defense, independent community control, and deep cultural pride in Pan-African unity, later changing his name to Kwame Ture to honor African liberators. Whether folks agree with his radical philosophy or not, his intellectual imprint on Black liberation remains completely undeniable. And that concludes the U.S. Black global history. And then we'll have Imani. She'll come in and we'll be doing some history from the UK area and the diaspora. So I hope y'all enjoyed that or, learn something from that little breakdown in that segment within these past 2 weeks of June 29th to July 12th when it comes to some historical, monumental things that have happened in that time frame. But what do you think about all of this, Imani, before you get into your segment?
Well, couple of things. Given what's going on in the present administration, Ronald H. Brown seems like a choir boy in terms of his alleged corruption. But there is one other thing that did happen on July the 10th, 1962, that was really important. And it is really important in the documenting of historical events. This was the Telstar satellite launch. I'll go into this just before I go into the UK, Caribbean, and Africa, or the other ex-US. This happened on July the 10th, 1962, and Telstar became the first privately owned sponsored communications satellite to transmit television signals across the Atlantic Ocean. Now, whilst this was a technological milestone, it also changed how the world viewed social movements because as TV technology expanded, images of civil rights protests, marches, and racial injustice reached international audiences. And the world saw events such as peaceful demonstration, police violence against protesters, freedom marches. These images increase the global awareness and the pressure for change. And why it matters is because technology has always played a role in social change by allowing people to witness history as it happens. That was an important event of July 1962. But moving forward from that, thanks, Golden. That was an excellent summary. I'm going to go first of all to the African diaspora, and a weird thing when I was looking at some stuff, and I'm only going to be brief because a lot of the stuff that happened in Africa during this period of June the 29th to July the 12th were independence. And I was wondering, how is it? Because if you look across Africa and the Caribbean, especially when it comes to those that were under British rule, you will see that most of them were given independence during the summer. And I was just wondering, were the colonizers feeling just like me at the moment? Oh, it's way too hot. Give them what they want. Can't be bothered. Because it seems like seems like quite a few countries got their independence in the summer. I was just wondering. I mean, that was just something, and I'm going to do a bit more research on it. But I just thought it's really weird. There's a lot of independence that was given during June, July, and August. They were probably
Yeah.
fanning themselves, saying, "Let them have it. Let them have it. I can't be bothered
It's too hot.
with
We
all
ain't
this
trying to
marching."
fight. Let them go.
Yeah,
Just let them
yeah.
go.
Yeah. So what? So on June the 30th, 1960, the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, gained independence, and this was one of the most significant dates in African history because after decades of Belgian colonial rule, the Congo became independent. At the independence ceremony, Patrice Lumumba delivered a powerful speech acknowledging the suffering endured under colonialism while expressing hope for a sovereign future. And the independence, sorry about the background noise, I've got the windows open. The independence also marked the beginning of the Congo crisis, which drew international powers during the Cold War. And then July the 1st, Ghana became a republic, and it was the first sub-Saharan African colony to gain independence in 1957. Ghana formally became a republic on July the 1st, 1960, and Kwame Nkrumah became its first president. Then July the 4th, 1964, Malawi became independent from Britain after years as the British protectorate of Nyasaland. And July the 5th, 1975, Cape Verde became independent. July the 7th, 1960, Katanga declared secession. And that was only days after the Congolese independence. Katanga declared itself an independent under Mose Tshombe. My pronunciation is terrible, but there was a lot of independence during June, July, and August. But I'm going to go from Africa to the UK and Caribbean and talk about the significant things that were happening during this period. So on July the 5th, 1948,
Imani,
the
did you want to play the video for the CARICOM?
Yeah.
Did you want to play that before we get into the?
Have I got to CARICOM yet?
I
Yeah,
think
you can play a video of CARICOM. I think CARICOM comes under the Caribbean. But yeah, you want to play the video? Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick, we go to the UK stuff, and then we have one for women. All right, so let's just go ahead and play this one, y'all.
Do you have something for the NHS, or was it? Sorry, do you have something for the NHS, or was it CARICOM?
It's CARICOM, but we can do that. I have something in the background for the NHS if you want me to pop that one up. But this one is CARICOM right now. But I have one for the NHS if you want me to pop that
how
one.
long is the NHS one? Is it a quick video?
CARICOM is about 11 to 12 minutes, and the NHS one, I think I found one that was as low as like 12 minutes, I think.
Because I think the NHS is
So it's
really
up to you,
important
whichever one you
because
want.
it's our health service. It's our free health service. That was a big thing. But play the CARICOM
Okay.
one. That's fine. Just play a little bit of the CARICOM one. That's fine.
Okay. And then we'll do the NHS after that too, because we need to know about these things. So let's go ahead and
Yeah, I'll
pop this
talk
one
about
up
the
real quick,
NHS.
y'all. We'll meet y'all in the chat.
Yeah, I'll talk about the NHS and then you can play the
I
video
hope y'all are.
afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds good. I hope y'all are enjoying, the live. I know it's history and stuff and stuff. Some people may like it, some people may not. It may be interesting, it may not be, but it's important information, I think, for us to know so we can really have a better understanding of our history all over the big, beautiful globe, y'all. So we just like to do stuff like that. So everybody who's rocking with us and still with us, we really appreciate your presence here. Whether you're in the chat or, like I said, you in the cut, just laying back listening, we appreciate it. We hope you enjoy the presentation. All right, y'all, let's get into this video and we'll meet you in the chat.
Here at Gyra Caribbean, we mainly focus on CARICOM member states on our channel. However, we have not fully engaged with the question of what is CARICOM and its importance in the region and to citizens of the Caribbean. In this presentation, we will rectify that and tell you everything you need to know about the region's unifying body, CARICOM, and how it affects you. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for our next video. What is CARICOM? Before we can get into the technical answers of CARICOM, we first need to define and understand that CARICOM stands for Caribbean Community and is a grouping of independent Caribbean nations and dependent territories stretching from the Bahamas in the north to Suriname and Guyana in the south, including associate members like the island of Bermuda in the North Atlantic. The Caribbean Community and Common Market, CARICOM, was established in 1973 with its main purposes to promote economic integration and cooperation among its members, to ensure that the benefits of integration are equitably shared, and to coordinate foreign policy. CARICOM has the vision for developing a Caribbean community that is inclusive and resilient, one that is driven by knowledge, excellence, innovation, and productivity, and one where every citizen of the region is secure and has the opportunity to realize his or her true potential. To achieve this vision of Caribbean unity and integration, part of CARICOM's mission is intended to push the region forward, united under one multicultural identity as related to economic integration and justice. Since its inception, CARICOM has fought to closely integrate members under one simpler economic entity through good governance and efficiency, and to ensure that all member states achieve sustainable development, including the environmental, economic, and social dimensions, and to encourage regional collaboration. CARICOM has also established itself as a representative of the Caribbean people on an international stage, as members are united behind each other under one message. In summation, CARICOM is a multifaceted organization which is focused on all things Caribbean, from the integration of economic ties to the preservation of the region's identity and cultural heritage. As a result, it can be sometimes difficult to define what CARICOM is, but CARICOM can be analogous to the European Union in Europe, a grouping and collaboration of countries to promote and develop each other. The history of CARICOM. Of a 15-year effort to fulfill the hope of regional integration, which was born with the establishment of the British West Indies Federation in 1958. The West Indies Federation came to an end in 1962, but at the end of the Federation, political leaders in the Caribbean made more serious efforts to ties between them by maintaining the cooperation that existed during the Federation. In announcing its intention to withdraw from the Federation, the government of Trinidad and Tobago proposed the creation of a Caribbean community consisting not only of the 10 members of the Federation, islands of the Caribbean Sea, both independent and non-independent. To discuss this concept, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago convened the first Heads of Government Conference in July 1963, attended by the leaders of Barbados, British Guiana, and Trinidad and Tobago. The conference began the talks of close cooperation with each other and also the establishment of a free trade area in the Caribbean. In December of that year, the heads of government signed what became the Caribbean Free Trade Association, CARIFTA. The new CARIFTA agreement came into effect on May 1, 1960. Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. The original idea to permit all territories in the region to participate in the association was achieved later that year with the entry of Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent in July, and of Jamaica and Montserrat on August 1, 1968. British Honduras, Belize, became a member in May 1971. At the 7th Heads of Conference decided to transform CARIFTA into a common market. The Caribbean Community and Common Market, CARICOM, as we know it today, was established by the Treaty of Chagaramas, which was signed by Prime Ministers Errol Barrow for Barbados, Forbes Burnham for Guyana, Michael Mann for Jamaica, and Eric Williams for Trinidad and Tobago, and came into effect on August 1, 1973. Subsequently, the other Caribbean nations and territories joined CARICOM. So, who is part of CARICOM? CARICOM member countries are broken into two groups. The first group are full member states. These are Antigua and Barbuda, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. The next group are associated.
All right, y'all. So we're just gonna cut that video right there. But we just wanted to give you a little bit of an understanding, of all of the areas and the islands and whatnot that being spoke about. And so dig into what CARICOM is, which is something I didn't know about previous to doing the research and looking all of this up. So this type of education, I think, is necessary, and it's really important for us to have so we can know what is really going on around the globe. Now, we do have a quick 5-minute video about the NHS, which is also very important. But Imani, I'll let you go, and then you let me know when you want me to play that video.
Yeah, let me just talk about CARICOM really quickly. It was formed on, there was a Treaty of Chagaramas signed on the 4th of July 1973 by 4 Caribbean nations. That's Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. And it created the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. Their vision was to unite the Caribbean through closer economic cooperation, regional integration, and collective development. And in the years that followed, other Caribbean nations, as you saw in the video, joined. It was established to strengthen trade between member states, encourage economic growth, improve education, and coordinate foreign policy and promote social and cultural development. By working together rather than individually, these Caribbean nations sought to increase their influence on the global stage because you're better together, as we say. And it was also to attract investment, improve transportation links, and create opportunities for their citizens. One of the most important achievements of CARICOM has been the development of the CARICOM single market and economy, which aims to allow the freer movement of skilled workers, businesses and goods and services across the participating member states. It's a bit like what they had with the EU, with the European Union, or what they have with the European Union. This has opened opportunities for professionals such as teachers, nurses, engineers, artists, and other skilled workers to live and work more easily throughout the region. And beyond economics, CARICOM has played a vital role in responding to natural disasters, such climate change and public health emergencies. And and also regional security challenges. So, by speaking with a more unified voice, unity is the theme here, Caribbean countries have been able to advocate more effectively on issues such as climate justice, sustainable development, debt relief, and the unique challenges faced by small island developing states. And it's also strengthened its regional identity by promoting Caribbean culture, sport, education, and institutions such as the Caribbean Examinations Councils and the Caribbean Court of Justice reflect the region's commitment to developing shared standards and strengthening regional cooperation and increasing their self-determination. So this is like the Pan-African Alliance. These nations coming together saying we're small, but together we're stronger. And this is what CARICOM is. I hope that clarifies it.
Yeah, that was excellent. Thank you for breaking it down for me. Because we read through our notes as we do our history and stuff like that, but when you like really fully understand and know what's going on, you can give a better explanation of what it is. But we do have a video here that I'm gonna go ahead and pop up real quick. And like I said, y'all, it's very short. So we'll play through this one real quick, and then we'll be moving forward. I believe we'll be getting into a little bit more of we'll get into our UK history as well. So y'all, let me pop this up real quick. StreamYard is moving extremely slow. I don't know why. So bear with me, y'all. Let me get this up here. All right, here we are. Okay, y'all, and let's watch this together, and then we will meet y'all in the chat per usual. But this is just a little bit more information here when it comes to the NHS. All right, let's get into it. Be right back.
That legacy is just wonderful.
They were here to make a better life for themselves.
You're caring for somebody, and the abuse that you get, you don't let it affect you.
You didn't want to give up. You just keep pushing against the barriers, yeah, and you support each other, and that's what we do very well.
I can't imagine the motivation to work that hard in a system that didn't really get them.
We had a mission, we had a goal. We wanted to achieve for those to follow.
I know that without them, I probably wouldn't be where I am today.
We were pioneers, and we left a legacy, if you like.
My name is Martin Griffiths.
My name is Samantha Tross.
My name is Dr. Lorette Folks. I'm a consultant histo and cytopathologist.
I'm a trauma surgeon here at Barts Health NHS Trust.
And I'm a consultant orthopedic surgeon.
My mum was born in 1940 in Jamaica. In 1965, she came to England to train as a nurse.
My mum came to the UK in early 60s, proper Jamaican woman, church lady.
My mum came and did her nursing training in England in 1964. I have a vivid memory of the nurses in crisp white dresses, but they just looked amazing.
When we think about, what Afro-Caribbean people have done, and if we point to what do Black people do in Britain, you say, well, we helped build the NHS.
I came in 1964 in December from the sunshine straight into the winter.
And when I got off the plane, if somebody had said, here's your ticket, go back to Jamaica, I would have taken it.
When the plane was actually descending in England, I thought all the houses was churches or bakeries, because I saw the smoke coming out of the top. I said, and one of the funny experiences I had when I went to my brother's place in Enfield, first time I know about a terrace house. When I saw my brother approaching this place, this terrace, I thought he owned the whole block. I said, boy, I've done well.
I miss my rice and peas, and I missed all my friends and the rest of my family. After a while, you get a little bit depressed.
I managed to get myself into nursing with the help of my brother. Nursing was not on my agenda at all. And then it brought up that side of me that I never knew I had. Yeah, that kind of loving, caring person.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick song break, and we'll be right back. Like I said, StreamYard is having technical difficulties, so I apologize, y'all. I'm gonna get everything set back up, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. They handed us the script, but we don't gotta read it no more. Yeah. Same old story, different page. Same old ink on a different stage. Got my own people on the corner, pushing me closer to the edge with rage. Willie Lynch probably laughing in his grave, seeing centuries later we still enslaved. House divided, envy contagious, the blueprint still working. Ain't that outrageous? Yeah. Stack the odds, casino game. Bet against ourselves just to chase some fame. Another brother falls, everybody crying. Last week behind closed doors, they was quietly plotting, trying to dim his light cause his future too bright. Crabs in the bucket pulling down every flight. Generational wounds pass hand to hand, fighting each other instead of the man with the plan. Iron chains became gold links, different metals, same prison when nobody thinks. Freedom ain't jewelry, freedom is soul. Can't buy liberation if your spirit been sold. We just echoes in the barrel, spinning circles every day. History whispers softly, but we keep looking away. Now we act in every part. Time to break the cycle, time to heal the broken heart. This ain't the dream they marched for. This ain't the future they could see. This whole thing was a setup. It's time we set ourselves free. Same concrete soaked with tears, same pain carried through the years. But we tear each other down for applause, temporary likes while nobody heals. Call you a sellout when you lead a block. Soon as success make the whole world stop. But the real betrayal ain't broke the flight. It's poisoning your people out of envy and spite. You mad cause this watch gleam, mad cause our band gleam. Meanwhile the architects of the cage still counting money behind the scenes. They love the chaos, love the smoke, love watching family lose all hope. Another headline, another mother cry, another generation acting while they dying. The trap ain't poverty, the trap is division. The chains ain't visible, they're built from our decisions. We carry anger in our chests, years of trauma, years of stress, and pass it to our own bloodline. Instead of putting evil to rest, love became weakness, unity became strange, clout became currency. Everybody chained. Round and round we go. History keeps repeating, cause nobody let it go. But tonight we change the pole, we build every hope. This ain't the life they believe. The chains only live if we choose not to leave. Let the echoes disappear, let the barrel finally break. Leave the hate where it belongs, for our children's sake. No more jealousy, no more self-destruction, no more borrowed hatred. It's unity or it's nothing.
Hey, can you hear me?
All right, y'all. Thanks for rocking with that quick song break. You can go ahead, Imani.
Yeah, listen, we're having a few technical issues, and people are trying to strike the live. I don't know why you want to strike a live that's being informative, but let me just tell you something. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. You go back in your toxic corner, keep calling phones with your Google numbers. They're all trackable. Keep doing what you're doing, but we're just going to get on and do what we do and enjoy what we do. Anyway, let me get back to the National Health Service. The National Health Service was formed, let me just go, on July the 5th, 1948. Um, and it was officially launched by the Labour government under Prime Minister Clement Attlee with, excuse me, Health Secretary Aneurin Bevan leading it to its creation. And for the first time in British history, healthcare became free at the point of use. It was regardless of a person's income, wealth, or social class. It was founded on three core principles: that it should meet the needs of everyone, be free when people needed it, and be based on clinical need rather than the ability to pay. Although the NHS was created for the whole population, it quickly faced a serious shortage of staff in the years following the Second World War. And Britain turned to countries across the Commonwealth to fill these essential roles. So I don't know if people know, the Black Britons that came across on Windrush and thereafter, before their countries were given independence, had British Commonwealth passports. They didn't have passports from their country. They were called British Commonwealth passports. That's what they came on, a British passport. So when people start telling us we should go back to where we belong, we actually came over on a passport that was issued by your government. So, that's really interesting for me. So, yeah, although it was created for the whole population, it quickly faced a shortage of staff. So they turned to the Commonwealth to fill these roles. Thousands of nurses, doctors, midwives, porters, cleaners, and support staff answered the call from the Caribbean, Africa, and South Asia, many arriving as part of the post-war migration that included the Windrush generation. These healthcare workers became the backbone of developing the NHS. They worked long hours in hospitals, clinics, and community healthcare services, often filling vacancies that could not otherwise be filled. Despite making an invaluable contribution, many also faced racism. And I think that I talked about this before, that there used to be signs when people were looking for accommodation, which said no blacks, no dogs, no blacks, no Irish, and no dogs. Those were the three in that order. They used to have actual signs in the window so when people turned up to accommodation, that's what it said. So you ended up having a lot of people, even though they may have been able to afford accommodation, like you had families living in one room because they actually lived where they could because they couldn't get accommodation. And this is why you got the migration of certain communities to certain areas around the country, and there are pockets of migrants because that's where they could get their accommodation. So we didn't form ghettos. Yeah, they made us live in them because they wouldn't house us
Exactly.
elsewhere.
Exactly.
So they love to use that word ghetto, the black ghettos, but it's the truth. That's why you've got pockets of migrants in different areas, because that's the only place they could get accommodation. So that they've faced racism, discrimination, and unequal treatment both within the workplace and in wider British society. Nevertheless, they persevered and helped to build one of the world's most respected public healthcare system. There's another thing I don't know if people know. There were many people that came here as teachers, as doctors, as nurses that ended up not doing those jobs because they didn't accept their qualifications. So I think this teachers, doctors and nurses came later, because when people like my parents came, their qualifications were not accepted. My father, who was a headmaster of a school, had to go back and resit exams. And remember, at that time, he had, by the time, he had come here and I was born and that, there were 4 children and he was trying to go to school. And he had to go back and sit what was high school level exams, and then going through the school system from when you are 13. He had to resit all his exams and he found it a struggle because he had to work and he was doing a job as a headmaster. He was doing a cleaning job because they presumed they didn't accept his qualifications as a headmaster of a school. And my mother was a teacher of the school. So people don't actually understand the real struggles to have to go back and sit your high school level exams when you have been a headmaster of a school or a head teacher, or they call it principal now. We used to call it headmaster or headmistress. But when you have been a school principal, to have to go back and sit the exams you would have done at 13, and especially those exams would have been based on the UK system because it was the UK education system, and then working and then trying to provide for your family. Think about that. So when people talk about lived experiences, this is what we talk about when we're talking about lived experiences. My father taught me to read, write. I could do algebra before I went to school, but I was actually kept back in a lower stream of education for years, and he had to fight for them to get me to the level that I already was when I came to school. These are my lived experiences. These are a lot of the lived experiences of immigrants that come here. So when people think that we're jumping out of our skis about stuff, this is stuff that we grew up with. This is why my dad gave me the autobiography of Malcolm X as one of the first books he told me to read, and said, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So anybody saying that we're all getting upset and talking the R word, those are the things that are important to me. Those are the things. People, yeah, it's offensive to show monkey pictures, but when you're talking about systematic racism, it's far more harmful than someone telling me the N word, which I don't even accept and I don't even say. And this is why I say focus on the stuff that's important, like systemic racism, like people being refused jobs because they have dreadlocks. Those are important things, like people being highly qualified to be a doctor and having to be a cleaner for years, and then them having to bring up their children and try and make them try and achieve better, even though they were already at that level when they arrived in the country. I'm sorry, I'm on a bit of a rant today because some of this stuff is getting on my nerves when people are talking about what racism is and how it affects people. But anyway, not to say that things haven't improved, because we have a free healthcare system, even though it's creaking at the rafters because there are a lot of people in the country. But these healthcare workers, they became the backbone, of the NHS. And today, what they did, they persevered and helped to build one of the world's most respected public healthcare systems. Today, the NHS remains one of Britain's most cherished institutions, and the contribution of Black and Asian and Commonwealth workers is increasingly recognised as fundamental to its success. And there was something that I don't know if you had that here, because I didn't watch a lot of what was going on abroad during CV19. But during CV19, we had a thing where we used to come out at a certain time. I think it was about 7 o'clock in the evening. Everybody, even though we were on lockdown, everybody used to come out of their house and clap for the NHS workers who had to work through, all the way through the time of that pandemic. They were giving praise for the work that they were doing. And it was really great, because people just at a certain time of day, I think it was 7 o'clock, came out of their house and they were just clapping for these guys that were working so hard in such difficult conditions and risking their lives. So I thought that was one of the unified things that I saw that I thought was great, because it happened every day at the same time. Yeah, during during the COVID-19 pandemic, the dedication and sacrifice of NHS staff once again reminded the nation of the enormous contribution made by healthcare professionals from diverse backgrounds. And that's what I've got on the NHS. Have you got anything to add to that, Golden?
No, I was just playing that background video while you were talking, because I said, well, we could just play it silently just because we could see it's basically like a PowerPoint presentation. So it basically just kind of breaks down what exactly you were just saying as far as how great the healthcare is there in the UK where you're at, and other areas as well, and it's free. And here in the US, child, it is not. They will dig your pockets deep until you have nothing left, okay, when it comes to the healthcare system that we have here. So I really like that you were touching on that. And it's historical because it started long ago and it's still in place right now. And it's very beneficial for people, especially when you're older, if you have health conditions or you're having a child, anything of that nature, or an emergency, anything really when it comes to healthcare. I love that y'all have that system in place, and I wish we had a bit more of that here in the United States, or something similar here in the United States, but we don't. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. But yeah, that was just a quick little 3-minute video that was just kind of explaining it as you was talking. So I was trying to play it real quick while you was talking, so they could just see the PowerPoint in the background. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I've
It's
got
crazy,
another funny
it's
story
very
actually
different.
about the. I've got another funny story about the NHS, because my sister, she's a US citizen, and she's fortunate enough to have worked for the US military, and her husband obviously was a soldier, and he was in the US military. So when she came to the UK, she was on transport. She was on a bus, and the bus jolted, and she kind of jarred her neck, and she had a lot of pain. So she went into the hospital because she thought she might have, something might be wrong with, a tendon or something. I don't know what
Right.
it was. And when she got seen, they took her name. They asked her what was wrong. They saw her at it was emergency care. And when they had finished, my sister said to the doctor and the nurse, "How much is that?" And the doctor said, "It's fine. It doesn't cost you." And she was like saying to me, it's so weird to be able to get emergency care like that. She said, "I was taking out my credit card to pay." And I said, "No, you've obviously lived in the US a long time." Yeah. So we're very fortunate to have that system. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
she
love it.
was yeah, yeah. She said that's it's not the same. It's not the same worldwide. But yeah, but also my sister did work in the UK before she left and emigrated, so she did have a number. But
Okay.
they won't refuse to see you if you're an emergency. It doesn't matter if you are a citizen or not. They wouldn't refuse you emergency care. But anyway, Yeah, that was an interesting scenario for her. She said, "Oh my God," she said, "I'm just so used to paying for it." So, yeah, on July the 2nd, 1948, the Empire Windrush generation began building modern Britain. Although the ship arrived on June the 22nd, many passengers began work and settled into communities during the following week. Their labour helped rebuild post-war Britain in transport, manufacturing, and the newly created NHS, laying the foundations for modern cultural Britain. And the year is 1981. I love this because we used to call these riots. They're now called uprisings. So on July the 7th, 1981, there was the Toxteth uprising, and Toxteth is in Liverpool. What happened here, what happened here was there were tensions over unemployment, discrimination, and policing. And this is a very, very similar theme that you will see throughout 1981 throughout the UK. And it erupted into unrest in Liverpool. The events highlighted long-standing inequalities affecting Black Britons and prompted a national debate about race relations and policing. Then on the 4th of July, because it was like a spiral during 1981, the actual Brixton uprising was in April of 1981, and that lasted for 3 days. But on the 4th of July, 1981, there was the Chapeltown disturbances. Communities in Chapeltown were experiencing unrest because of similar concerns over policing, unemployment, and racial inequality, reinforcing the calls for reform across Britain. Because Black Britons had helped shape Britain's post-war identity, and they were still suffering systemic racism, police brutality, not good outcomes in education. And these were a lot of qualified people that had come to the country with hope, who were invited. It wasn't as though they got on that ship and said, let me just go to the UK. They were invited here to come and help rebuild the country after the war. So, there were a few uprisings, and in Brixton, what had happened, there were 3 nights of riots because they had gone into someone's house to arrest her grandson. And because of the force that they used, this woman had a heart attack. And so because of everything that was a build-up, there were riots in Brixton that started on a Saturday. I think it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it was 1981. Now, when we moved to the Caribbean, we talked about CARICOM. We talked about CARICOM, and we've already talked about Cape Verde. I think I talked about that in the independence. But July the 1st, 1962, Jamaica adopted its national flag ahead of independence. And in the weeks before the independence of Jamaica, it adopted its now famous black, green, and gold flag. The colours symbolise strength, hope, and agricultural prosperity, becoming one of the Caribbean's most recognisable natural symbols. The Bahamas on the 10th of July gained independence from Britain as well. Sorry, I've lost my spot. I think because I went off on a rant.
It's okay. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah. This is why, yeah. Where did I get to? Sorry. Yeah, Jamaica adopted, black is the strength and creativity of the Jamaican people. Green is the hope, agriculture, and natural resources. And gold, the beauty and wealth of Jamaica's sunlight and national treasures. Jamaica officially became independent from Britain. I told you, August 1962. Yeah, they were hot. It was summer. They said, let them go, let them go. The flag represented more than a national symbol. It represented self-determination and pride. And why it matters, symbols of independence help nations preserve their identity and celebrate their history. I talked about CARICOM already. The Bahamas became independent on July the 10th, 1973. It was after years and centuries of British colonial rule. This day marked the achievement of a long struggle for self-government. Independence allowed Bahamians to control their own government, laws, national policies, international relationship, and the Bahamas celebrated independence with the creation of new national traditions while maintaining connections with the wider Caribbean community. Why does this matter? The independence movements of Caribbean nations showed that people could preserve their culture while building modern governments. Now, when we look at all these stories, we see a powerful connection. A civil rights march in America, a healthcare worker from Jamaica in Britain, an independence movement in the Caribbean, and an African nation gaining freedom may seem like separate events, but they're all connected. They all represent a larger story: the pursuit of dignity, the fight for equality, the creation of institution, the preservation of culture, and Black history is global history. The music traveled, the ideas traveled, the people traveled, and the movements traveled. From Harlem to London, from Kingston to Cape Town, communities of African descent have shaped the world. And that's it for me.
Excellent, excellent, excellent job. Thank you so much for joining me with these history lives. I think they are more than important, and we're going to keep doing them, y'all. We're going to keep bringing the information to y'all. And it's not just for us, it's for all of us, because we all come from a history, we all come from a background, and it's important for us to know one another's history. When we know where we're from, we know where we're at, and we know where we're going. So I do have a couple of final words. My voice has been really giving out today and these tech issues, but still we rise, right? So anyway, what I just wanted to tell y'all is that, this history we're talking about isn't just text in an old archive. It is a living, breathing map of human resilience. Every song that crossed the ocean, every community that stood up against discrimination, and every nation that claimed its independence was fueled by a single simple belief that a better, more loving tomorrow is possible. That better tomorrow doesn't happen by accident, though. It starts here, and it starts with you. It starts with us. We cannot build unity where there is no understanding, and we cannot understanding where we refuse to learn. True transformative love requires us to educate ourselves on one another. We must be willing to step outside of our comfort zones, listen to each other's stories, and honor the struggles and the triumphs of the people next door and across the globe. When we take the time to truly see, hear, and understand each other, the walls of division start to crumble in our own neighborhoods, our own streets, and our own hearts. We are different notes in the same beautiful song. We are different branches in the very same tree. Let us move forward from this space, not just with knowledge, but with a deeper commitment to empathy. Let's walk in hope, let's lead in love, and let's stand in unity. Educate yourselves, protect one another, and remember, we are always stronger together. So thank you all for being here today on this live. Considering the technical difficulties and hiccups, y'all, I appreciate you for still rocking with us through it. And I want to say, God bless you. Keep shining. And you know we will see y'all on the next live. Before we get out of here, Imani, do you have any final comments? Y'all know we're going to end it with a bop.
Yeah, I just want to say that history teaches us something powerful. Progress has never been made by people who gave up. And when the road became difficult, and every generation has faced challenges that seem impossible, but ordinary people, through courage, determination, and hope, have found a way to move forward. So we've reflected on some important moments in history, from the founding of the NHS to the creation of CARICOM, to other great historical moments. So whatever you're facing today, your story is still being written. Your current chapter is not your final chapter. Every setback carries a lesson. Every delay can become a preparation, and every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and be more compassionate. Let's continue to celebrate those who came before us, honor those making a difference today, and inspire the next generation to believe that they too can leave the world better than they found it. Be kind, but don't mistake kindness for weakness. Stand for truth and always lead with respect. Continue learning, continue questioning, and continue lifting others up as you climb up. Because when one of us succeeds, we all move forward together. And thank you for everyone who joined us today. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, take care of yourselves, each other, keep the faith. Keep your faith stronger than your fear, and never forget that hope, knowledge, and unity remain some of the greatest forces for positive change. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay encouraged, and I'll see you on the next one. And have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time, wherever you are in the world.
Amen. Thank you so much, Imani, for rocking with me as a lovely co-host that you always are. We did it again, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the live. We will be back for much more, y'all. We got more politics to get into, some cooking things, and some more celebrity gossip with purpose. Yeah, all of that and some more things coming to you as well. But let's go ahead and end it out with a bop, y'all. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And whatever respectful time zone you're in, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, I hope you all will have a great day and good health. And remember, it's hot out here for a lot of us, so stay cool. All right, y'all. Let's end it with a little gig, a little bop, and we'll talk to y'all on the next live. Golden Imani out. Bye.
The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm, a gentle hand to keep a spirit warm, a plate of food, a mind that's free to learn, a simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. That's right. These are the needs to bedrock and the base, the sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human. Blood and bone and soul. Say it loud. With a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our slave. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. It's where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded gun. Yeah, they're painting pictures, twisted and unreal, Teaching our children how they ought to feel. All that value's in the label on your shoes. Or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate, they celebrate the greed, and platter poison to suffocate your weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the glow and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. No tech division, the mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison. Got the youth chasing life addicted to the feed. Ignore the hunger, the fundamental need. Nigga love your vitals on the digital stage, putting the future artists in a ritual page. Now they gotta break the cycle, gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mightier than the source. We teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power in every single face. Let's go. We are human. Loud and bold and sound. Yeah, everyone. Let our right to be loud. Let the right to be led. Our right to be made whole. This is our story. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the Creator, yeah, we all belong. We are human. Work more than they can prize. We are the able whispers in the lonely dark. We will build a world where every voice is heard. Every single one, from the suburbs to the burning. Love is not a whisper, but a mighty thundering wave. A word of action, breaking the chain. A word of power, washing out the pain. It ain't a feeling, it's a verb. It's what you do for me, for them, for us, for you. Cause they just a track, just a call to action. For every mother, father, every single fraction of the community holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look your child in the eye, tell her that they matter. Tell them the spirit supplemental light and shine. That's what the knowledge is the weapon. Love is the shield and the truth is the harvest. We gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are human. Oh yes, we are. Teach for children. Learn power. Teach for truth. Reach where you hit the rules in a fruit. We are human. A right to live. Right to live. Teach for truth. Reach where you hit the rules in a fruit. We are human. Sing a song on this Feeling that got people forgetting folks are human. That part. Every laugh ain't harmless. Every post ain't just jokes. Some people smiling online, crying in real life. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Why? You don't know what they carry when the camera done. Broken souls throw stones and hide their hands. Cowards in comment sections playing God again. Karma don't miss. Karma don't miss. And healing's still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Yeah. YouTube streets messy, everybody got a target. Creators throwing dirt like hate became a market. Mocking people daily, that spirit look haunted. Tell me who raised y'all, this behavior garbage. Laughing at depression, exposing folks' trauma. Then that shock when tragedy follow behind you. The evil energy, boomerang proper. Come on, pull up silent like a midnight robber. And honestly, do you watch my live? I talk truth, pain, growth, tears, real vibes. Not everybody built for the games online. Some folks want insult from losing their mind. That's facts, no cap. Y'all addicted to humiliation. Every live stream feel like public execution. Views over souls, cloud over humans. Then wonder why the whole world mentally ruined. Somebody mama crying at night. Somebody daughter hurt inside. Somebody praying not to give up while bullets screenshot painful life. Shame on you, shame. You need healing too. Only damaged people wake up daily, trying to damage others too. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for Killers acting tough online. Whole time spiritually broken inside. Karma don't miss, no. Karma don't skip souls either. Every hateful seed gon' meet the reaper. So to the hurting bully people, listen close. You matter more than these demons online. These chicks bitter, these dudes weird. Obsessed every day, like why you still here? Refreshing my page while pretending you don't care. Whole personality built off hate and fear. Talk slick online, real life timid. Broken inside, everybody can't feel it. Projecting they wounds while the comments all cheering. That ain't straight, baby, that sickness concealed. And I said what I said. Yeah, some of these creators need therapy bad. Not another live stream drag. Not another fake outrage cash grab scam. Y'all bully for a living, that's sad. Spirit look bankrupt, dusty and mad. And the people encouraging it just is trash. Laugh now, karma got a long memory past. Lord, cover the wounded, cover the lonely heart, cover the lonely heart, cover the people crying silently in dark rooms. Teach us compassion again. Teach this world mercy again. Because words cut deep, so deep. And some people never recover. To everybody bullied online, you are not weak because you hurt. You are not crazy because you feel pain. And don't let these empty souls convince you your life got no value. The loudest bullies usually fighting demons they never healed from. That ain't an excuse, but it's the truth. And to the bullies, get help, seriously. This obsession with tearing strangers apart every day, that ain't normal. Enough is enough. We need love more than ever now. More than ever. Too many souls out here barely hanging on somehow. No more glorifying painful views. No more clowning her forever new. No more mob attacks for entertainment. That darkness got consequences too. Karma don't miss. Karma don't miss. And healing's still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Enough is enough. Spread love before it's too late. Yeah, before it's too late. Cradle and tie, Gloria in excelsis. Yeah, yeah. I've been through the fire, walked through the rain, felt that pressure, felt that yeah, that's a safe bet. From the impossible to the it is done, the battle's already over, the victory is won. So let the strings soar, let the heavens open wide. I got the creator of the universe on my side. It's here to stay. The morning is here. Something has to break. The morning is here. Something has broken.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let it ring out loud. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea, like the mighty waters. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. We remember it all. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Hope is alive, yeah. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on. Let's keep marching till victory is won. Stony the road we trod. Bitter the casting rock. But we're still here.
They don't know her like I do. Nah. Golden. She moved through the city with her hair held high. Pretty brown skin with a storm inside. Everybody see the glow, they don't know the pressure. Smile so warm, but her heart no weather. Late nights riding while the skyline blurred. Trying not to cry when the memories occurred. Had to learn fast, everybody ain't loyal. Some people love you long as they control you. Now she move careful, energy expensive. Too many fake vibes hiding in the friendship. Used to give love with her hands wide open. Now every scar got the whole vibe frozen. They don't know her like I. No, they don't know her like I. She goes by Golden. Soft voice, deep soul, hope or glowing. She goes by Golden. City lights dancing with her heart stay open. Long dark roads, but she still stay focused. Everybody watching, but they don't really know her. Too much grace for the games they throwing. Real love, rare, so spirits they got it. Beautiful soul, but the pain left marks in it. Mirror never tell the truth when the lights go dim. All the things she carry weight heavy within. She survived nights she don't even speak on. Still finding peace what the whole world ain't wrong. Funny how the love disappear when you're healing. Funny how the fate come around when you win. Now she trusts God more than people intend. Just cause smiles hot and being hidden in the big. She's still soft-hearted but she way less naive. Can't keep pouring love where there's nothing received. Still dancing slow through the hurt and confusion. Trying not to lose herself chasing illusions. She survived the fire. Still glowing through the storm. Still sad. Still dangerous. Still chosen. She goes back golden. Snow so deep made the whole room notice. Heavy lies couldn't break what was chosen. Still standing tall while the whole world folding. She goes back golden. Heartbreak turned to pens in the matter. Now the tears got rhythm when she's singing. And they still don't know her like that. They still don't know her like that. Spend too much time looking for love in strangers. Spend too much time. Spend too much time letting outside voices shake the mirror. But at the end of the night, when the lights fade, when the city cried, when the tears dried, we still got